The shelter's doorbell rang as a man entered inside. The receptionist smiled, expecting the usual question, "What puppies do you have today?" But instead he said something no one had ever heard before. "I want to adopt your most hated dog," he said firmly. Silence filled the room for a moment. The receptionist blinked in surprise. "Excuse me?" she asked, unsure if she had heard correctly. "I want the dog. No one wants the dog who has stayed the longest here. The dog no one asks about," he repeated. He did not ask for a specific breed, age, or color. He didn't want a playful puppy or a well-behaved big dog. He wanted the forgotten, the broken, the one left behind by everyone, and he didn't intend to leave without him. The receptionist hesitated, then motioned for him to follow. They passed rows of barking dogs, some jumping excitedly, some whining for attention, and she noticed every cage had a tag. Names, ages, adoption status, some with smiling faces drawn. They stopped at the last cage in the back corner, as if placed there and forgotten. Inside lay a large German shepherd on the cold concrete floor. His fur was patchy and his eyes dull. He didn't move, didn't bark, didn't even lift his head when they approached. "This is Max," she said quietly. "He's been here nearly 2 years. He came with signs of abuse. People ignore him because he growls. Sometimes he doesn't trust people easily. Honestly, we stopped trying to find him a home." The man bent down. Max lifted his head slightly and looked at him. He didn't wag his tail. There was no glimmer of hope, just years of buried pain. "I'll take him," the man said without hesitation. "Are you sure?" "Absolutely." He nodded. "This is the dog I came for from the moment they left the shelter." The dog was hesitant. With every step, he froze at the sound of cars, got confused. When the man held the leash, he refused to sit in the back seat of the car. Finally, with patience and soft reassurance, the man persuaded him to get in, but he stayed curled up in the farthest corner, eyes fixed on the door. His body trembled like a leaf in the wind at home. It was no better. Max avoided every room except the laundry room, where he curled up in a corner. Barely moving, he refused food. The first night didn't sleep. He just stared at the shadows, nervous and haunted by ghosts. The man put food and water near him and sat beside him for hours, sometimes without saying a word. On the 5th night, something different happened. A light touch of Max's nose on the man's hand. Barely a moment, but enough. It wasn't trust yet, but it was a beginning. On the 7th day, Max followed him to the kitchen. Small steps, but for Max, victories. By the 2nd week, he dared to enter the living room. He didn't sit, but stood on the edge of the carpet while the man watched old movies. His eyes remained cautious, but no longer hidden behind pain, and slowly he began to eat in the presence of someone in the room. Then one morning, the man woke to find Max sleeping at the edge of his bed. He didn't wag his tail, wasn't ready to rejoice, but a wall had cracked. And the biggest moment came when a neighbor visited unexpectedly. Max did not hide. He barked, not out of fear, but protection. He positioned himself between the man and the visitor. Tail, low ears, tense. The man was amazed. Max had found his voice, his courage, his role. For the first time, the man saw what the shelter hadn't. Max wasn't broken. He was rebuilding himself. And it happened on a rainy Wednesday. It was the 3rd day of the disappearance of the boy Lucas Miller. The whole town, Maple Ridge, was in panic. Calling his name, every corner of the city was combed, but there was no sign of Lucas. People feared the worst. Max was walking in the yard with his owner when suddenly he started barking, a loud, sharp bark. One after another, his voice echoed in the air, drawing everyone's attention. His owner called him, but Max didn't stop. He seemed frantic, pacing back and forth, his eyes full of worry. Then he took off, running through the streets with his tail raised. The crowd followed, curious and anxious, wondering why he acted this way. His steps were determined, never stopping, leading the way. Without hesitation, everyone caught up and Max rushed through the roads, heading toward the town's outskirts. Finally, Max stopped in front of an abandoned building, a dilapidated, eerie structure. The dog sniffed the air, then barked again, his voice echoing in the silence. As people gathered around, they found Lucas. He was unconscious, lying on the cold ground, but still breathing. Without hesitation, they took him to the hospital. Thanks to Max's amazing instinct, Lucas was saved. News of Max's heroism spread quickly. Local newspapers covered the story with headlines like, The rejected dog becomes a hero, and German Shepherd rescuer saves lost child. No one could believe this was the same dog hiding in the shelter's corner. The dog said to be unloved was the one who saved a human life. Dear viewer, thank you for watching. We hope you enjoyed the story. Please support us by liking, commenting and subscribing for more touching stories.